and all the transaction are confirmed by half of the Bitcoin, what we call the Bitcoin mining. Yeah.
Okay, all right, all right. And when we look at the market, right, and you see
Yeah.
this graph, right, in the IELTS test, they always give you a graph and you're supposed to write 150 words about it, right? So just for, what do you see in this graph, sir?
Just so high.
I know, right? Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So that was explaining it. And the next one is going to be a hypothetical. A hypothetical is like an if situation. Let's say that I give you $100 million, okay? $100 million. Would you invest in Bitcoin now or would you not invest in it?
Uh, if I have a $100, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will wait until it go down and will find best position to take along. Or if I try to invest now, I will make a short position because
Short position.
it's
Okay, so
yes,
you know stocks and bonds then a little bit. Okay, good for
yeah.
you. Your English is not too bad, right? Like you got the terminology there and the logic. You have a powerful brain inside of there. Okay, so it's just a little bit of polish. Okay, sounds good. All right. Okay. Now, based on my questions here, when I was asking you questions, I think that your business partner is correct. He said that your listening comprehension is good. You're able to read quickly and you're able to analyze things quickly. So those things are not going to be problems in our class. What I do see in your speaking here is that I'll give you a couple of different feedback points, is that there were small grammatical errors and then like a small pause in some of the ways that you were going to answer. And it was an unfamiliar topic, right? Which is not fair to you, Kev, right? I apologize for that, really. But my logic for this kind of questioning is that in life, in business, there are many times where we have to stop and think and give a good response, right? And that's based on any kind of topic that we're either familiar with or not. And even if we're familiar with it, it means that it's usually connected to something deeper, like a hypothetical, right? So if you're, I am anticipating that when you use English over there in Hong Kong, they will be asking you for solutions. They'll be asking you for explanations. They'll be asking you for like small talk back and forth and making sure that everything is nice and clear. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, agree.
Okay, great, great. All right, the next thing here I would like to check and see here a little bit is little communication stuff. This is possibly one of the books that I will use. One of the books. We have about 150 gigabytes of different English textbooks and PDFs to use. And so we do flip from them as we go. You can pick some if you like and study them on your own or request with the teacher to cover it chapter by chapter and unit by unit. However, based on the discussion I had with Khun Kong before, is that you're really focusing on the speaking and listening part. Yes?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. So language is the dress of thought. Language is the dress of thought by Samuel Johnson. This is Upama Upamaika. How would you explain this here? Do you have any questions or do you think you understand this quote?
Uh, I think and I'm not really understand this quote.
Okay, that one's because this one's a little bit harder. And this one, it basically means where in business, whenever I wear a suit and I go to a meeting, people are nicer to me and they give me more respect. If I go to a meeting in shorts and a t-shirt, they usually treat me like a little kid because my face looks young. I'm
Okay.
37, I'm 37 years old though, actually, right? And so the connection here is that language is the dress of thought. So the clothes kind of show the man. I don't agree with this 100%, but the language that we use is the dress of the mind, right? So it
Yeah,
means
yeah.
words we use show the way that we think, right? And in Hong Kong, unfortunately, I think this is important, okay? And in Thailand too, everywhere, but especially in Asian countries where pride and face are very important, okay?
Yes,
So
yes.
please do me a favor here, sir, and please read this paragraph for me in your best voice possible. And by the way, I am recording this because I would like to compare it with 3 months from now to see if your English is 10, 15% smoother. And that would be our measurable target. Okay?
Okay.
All right, go ahead, sir. In business.
Let me read.
Oh, yes, read aloud with your voice.
Okay.
Thank you.
In business, when you submit a piece of writing, let me hide the side. When you submit a piece of writing, you hold yourself up to scrutiny. If your message is unclear, if your grammar is weak, if your vocabulary is imprecise, you could be judged harshly. But if you write consistently, clearly, and with sufficient creativity to make an impact, you will be considered a highly valued asset to your company.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Your reading is not bad, dude, right? Like you got it. The pronunciation is almost there. It's only a couple of different things. For me here, I changed this book written by Cambridge, and I changed the piece of writing to be communication because that's what it is nowadays in modern times, right? You hold yourself up to scrutiny. This is annoying. This is judgment, right? Scrutiny is close examination. And unfortunately, when people analyze our words, our text messages, our videos, everything, they do judge us and they examine it closely, right? It sucks. I hate it. Okay? All right. And if your message is unclear, your grammar was weak, if your vocabulary is imprecise, right? Imprecise is not exact. This is one thing that I would really love to teach you is that nowadays, a lot of people do not speak precisely. All right, they just say whatever's on their mind. They use like a lot. They use but a lot. They use lots of things that don't make it very clear. And so I would like to teach you how to use English precisely. And hopefully that will help you with your other languages as well. That's the thing that your teachers will also focus on as well, but it's this balance between fluency and accuracy, right?
Yeah.
Which one is more important in a business setting? And I would say that it depends, right? It really does. Do you need to be 100% accurate? No, but it would be nice, right? Should you be fluent 100% of the time? Yes, right? And fluency in English is defined as being smooth in the way that you talk and people understand, right? That's the way that it's defined in English. Lots of people, they think fluency means that you can speak perfectly, but it's wrong, right? So it's fluency versus accuracy, okay? All right, and for us, I believe that it's gonna be a little bit like this, where we're focusing on fluency a bit more, and then we have accuracy inside of there, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. All right. Now, other things here, we have to write successfully, to communicate successfully. There are at least 6 categories, right? At least 6 categories here. You have grammar, vocabulary, and then skipping these, it's reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And the thing is that speaking and writing are creative skills, and reading and listening are analytical skills, right? So that means that your analytical skills are very, very strong, and your creation skills in coding, I'm guessing, are you a coder? Are you a developer?
Yes, I am a coder.
What's your language of choice?
Actually, any language, but I am expertise on Python and JavaScript. Yeah.
Python and Java. Okay, all right, yes. And so Python is actually built a lot in English. So that means that it's possible one of the reasons your English grammar is good is because of
Yes.
Python.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome. That makes everything a lot easier. That means that I can use something we call word equations, right? So in your classes with me, I will give you a lot of word equations, and that's the way that I'll sync it up into grammar, right? Where example of a word equation here would be, let's see. All right, I have expertise, I am expertise, Okay, so one of the small mistakes, don't feel bad, right? One of the small mistakes I saw was that you have expertise, that's a noun.
No. Yeah.
Then we have expert, which is also a noun as well, right? And so this is why where we don't use it like this, and it's gonna look like this. I have plus noun slash object. right? And then that's your most basic word equation, because I believe that understanding patterns equals learning. Okay?
Yeah.
And yes, I love math and science. That's usually where I make most of my income from, is that I teach a lot of math and science at the international and university school level. I also write essays, right? I help people get into university programs by writing 500 to 1,000 word essays and making sure that they have this very high level of communication so that they can achieve their aims, right? But the point here is that because you're a coder and you are a developer, we will try to sink in a little bit of mathematic concepts with English in a fun way so that you can clean up some of these mistakes here, right? And it's not cleaning up a mistake, it's just understanding the code, right? Understanding the code, and then that will hopefully make your life easier. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So that's where you got a little bit of background information. Right? Background info. We also have here creative skills versus analytical skills. Right. And so now I have a question. I mean, I know the partners are just kind of observing right now, but hopefully they're listening. It's that, in your opinion, what's the best way to improve like an analytical skill? It could be any analytical skill, not just English.
Okay, I think to improve the analytical skill is I need to read more I have to do more reading the documentation and do read the article that people show how to solve things, right? So for improve the analytical when I work, I need to draw some tasks. Yeah, I need to draw some tasks and do some flow. Yeah.
Yeah.
To solve the problem. Yes.
Do it. Troubleshoot, analyze, and have extensive fundamental knowledge. Okay, all right. I agree with you. I agree with you on that. That one is good. And so you covered analytical skills for me very well. Now, for me, when it comes to creative skills and trying to build these skills, it comes down to this. Number one is that you have to do it, right? Like you actually have to create, right? And so creating in English would be actively speaking and actively listening and actively writing, okay? Those would be those, right? The other ones is going to be learn the form and shape, plus patterns to adapt to different purposes. Okay, and so I'll give you an example of this one right here, right, of what we will do inside the class. I like doing this with quotes, right? We say, in the midst of chaos, there's also opportunity. But if I see this here, there is a noun, right? And I'll go ahead and change that to red. And then opportunity here is a noun as well. So I use the same exact pattern to make a new thought. All right, and then let's say here, I change chaos to in the midst of the market, there is also, let's use the word fluctuation, right? And this is where I have replaced the nouns from a quote and I've changed the meaning completely, right? And fluctuation needs to go up and down, and that's because there's 41,000 in Bitcoin right here, okay? And it's where this is one of the teaching styles that we have, in combination with asking you to create and speak and analyze in the language. It's that we have these little word equations and patterns that we're trying to change up for you so that in a new situation, you can switch out the pieces you need to, and then it still makes sense and it sounds good. All right, very practical, right? In the midst of chaos, there's also opportunity. In the midst of the market, there is also fluctuation. In the midst of the market, there is also hope. In the midst of the market, there is also scammers and honest people, right? And so that's where I change this sentence pattern to use it in a way that you can sound good about it, right? And that's where you're right. It's that reading more is definitely better, but I do recommend that you start trying to spend a few minutes reading aloud, right? Reading aloud is really important because it's that your brain starts to hear it from here. This part of your brain analyzes it, and then it starts to remember that knowledge when it's making your mouth move when you speak. All right?
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Now, a little bit of neuroscience. I think I shared this with Khun before, but I'll go ahead and share it with you here again. Synapses. Right. And so this is your brain. Okay. This is, oh, I like this picture better. Hold on. All right. This is your brain. And here's a little bit of science for you, Khun. It's that inside of the brain, there are more synaptic connections, more connections in one human brain than all of the atoms and molecules in the universe, making human brain the most complex thing in the universe. Okay? And so let's say that this is your Thai here, and then these are your normal English words that you use. And that's where it's common and normal and you're working on it and it's good. And then maybe there are some words that you just don't use a lot, right? Just don't use a lot. And then for today, you have this word mixed, right? Which is totally new, right? And so this is this connection that's slowly made today, and it will disappear in 3 days if you don't use it again. But as we strengthen it with conversation, as we talk about your work, as we talk about Bitcoin, as we read the book, and there are more connections to this, that's then the next time you have to use this word, it's actually easier because the signal starts traveling faster, okay? I won't go too much more science, but there is more here. This part right here is called the myelin sheath, right? And the more time you spend focusing and concentrating on it, the protein grows, and then the signal starts traveling faster, like a wire. It's really cool. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So what you do changes the way that your brain functions, and I think that's very cool. Okay. All right. So now moving forward here. Right? Moving forward here as this fourth objective here is that I think I have a pretty good idea of what your abilities are. And I think I have a strong idea of what kind of polish, right? We're going to use this word polish you'd like to accomplish in the next 6 months. And for me, if I had to categorize those things, I would say that the first goal here is confidence and smooth articulation of thoughts. All right, that's going to be our number one priority. And articulation means that you put your thoughts and emotions into English words.
Yeah.
Okay, English words there. You got English articulation there. Okay, higher analytical and comprehension skills in English on a wider range of topics. Okay, so this number 2 here for me is like the adaptability factor, right? Where everything you're listening to, everything they're talking about in the office, IT or not, it's that you have a higher scope of understanding, right? Higher scope of understanding. And the example here is that when I asked you about the meaning of this quote, you told me very clearly what it was. And then I connected it to like a real world example or personal experience. And then that would be a higher level of understanding. Cool?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Number 3, this is going to be word equations, syntax, and concepts / knowledge to bolster confidence and fluidity. Okay. All right. And then number 3 here is that it's connected to the structure, right? The structure of the language. And then this third one here is that I would love to teach you some stuff about philosophy and business and war and CEOs and like all of this knowledge that helps make successful projects, right? I've been teaching for a very long time, and my youngest student was 3 and my oldest student was 76. And it's 6 different countries that I've built and sold schools successfully. And in that time, there have been many people to ask me for help in like a wide range of subjects. And because of that, I have had to research so many different categories of information. The meeting I had with you before was, helping a lady in her criminology and criminal justice program at London School of Economics. And so I was learning a lot about criminology in the UK and how it connects to Thailand. So it's where sometimes there is key information that will help you on these three goals. Okay?
Okay.
All right, sounds good. So I have a few questions now for you. Do I seem like a competent teacher?
No.
Competent means having the skill. I'll write it down for you. It's okay. This is.
I mean.
All right, we have. I was like, no, okay. All right, competent. All right, and then we have incompetent. These are strong words, right? Very, very strong words here. Competent here means having the skills to do the job. Having the skills to do the job, right? Or task, or project, task, or project. And then incompetent would be a very strong word that you do not want to use at work, right?
Yeah.
Is not having skills to do the job.
Yeah, but you just told him that he was
incompetent. Yeah. I just told him he not.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I said it quickly. And it's okay. It's okay. And so, my question is, do you think I'm a competent teacher?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay.
You are.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I believe that with my skill set and experience, I can help you. At the same time, I can also vouch for 2 of my teachers that will be able to help you, at least. Vouch for 3 teachers. Do you know the word vouch?
I don't know.
Vouch basically means speak for. Okay, like you know a voucher, right?
Yeah, I know voucher.
Yes, a voucher. It's similar. All right. A voucher is a noun, and this is a document or ticket that allows us to get some item or service, right? And so the meanings are disconnected, right? When I vouch for someone, it means I'm just saying, I think this person can be good for whatever that you need help with, okay?
Okay.
All right, and I'll vouch for these 3 teachers. It's where there's myself, and then the other one is Val. He's our grammarian. All right, and that means he's our specialist in grammar, right? And so all the grammar classes that we teach are taught by him, and it's because he bought an iPad Pro and then he set up everything amazingly to be able to give people charts and sentences and flow and worksheets and everything that's very, very Roy and proper. All right.
Yeah.
There's Kyle. This guy has 15 years of corporate experience in America, and he left a 400,000 job per month, right? Per month to come and work with me here in Thailand. And it's because he didn't like his work before. Oh, that's my baby, sorry. He didn't like his work before and he wanted a totally new change. And he's one of my best friends as well. And so he came here to teach, and this was the level that he was at. And now he's teaching and talking about business and technology with you. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And then there's P Bank, right? P Bank is our bilingual teacher. I better check on my baby in a second. Okay.
Sure.
No, it's okay. I'll give you 1 minute. It's where Bank is our bilingual teacher. And so if there's anything that you want to ask him in Pasan Thai Club, that's definitely a good way to save some time. Sometimes it's efficient, right? He will always act like an American, but sometimes if you ask him something in Thai, he will be able to explain quickly. Okay, and that's where time is right? Time is money. And so sometimes you don't need a long explanation for something. Sometimes it can be just quick, and then you're moving on with the lesson. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent. I have shown Khun Kong a lot of our other documents and examples, but since your other partner is here, I'll go ahead and show it as well right now. Golf is a good example. He's one of our students that has been learning for a very long time, and he works as a CMO for Macro. And over the course of the last 4 years, we have almost tripled his salary, right, through his English communication. And from the beginning, it was pretty rough. Like he was he was a lot worse than you, and he was a lot more insecure about what he had to say. But this is an example of a log of our last class last year. And it's where I do take extensive notes on every single class, right? And these are things that you can review as well. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Okay, there are other metrics and other goals and other organizational things that we can share as well. That's going to be like a GAC checklist, books, PDFs, all these things, but it's too much to throw at you in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
I think that at our first class, we will get to know you better, understand your abilities better. I'll ask you to take an English assessment test that's from Duolingo. It's free and it's accepted by 2,000 universities for English proficiency, and it's free. That's the important one, right? And it'll give you a basic idea of where your English is at right now. Okay. I also have this video that I've been recording, right? And I will keep this on my computer. No, I will keep it on a private link on YouTube. And then 3 months from now, 6 months from now, we will compare it, all right? And hopefully it will be this much smoother and that much more confident, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, good. So right now my baby is crying a little bit.